Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? It is very cold in Indianapolis tonight. It was snowing earlier, and I had my meeting, and Tanya afterwards was like, are you gonna go out and vlog right now? And it was kind of like slick outside, and I said, no, I think I'm gonna go home and relax for a little bit and then wait for this snow to kind of be gone, because it was like blowing across the road and stuff. So I went home afterwards and laid down with Alex, and then I got up at about 1, and I watched my video back of the Psychic Twins that I'm putting up tomorrow, which is good because I had it already uploaded to YouTube, and I hadn't watched it back because, of course, I don't edit. And there was a part towards the end when it was like, I looked at the cameraman, I go, how much time do we have? Or like, what time are we at? And then we just kind of like went off and like talked for like 5 minutes. And then I said, oh, I'll edit all of this out, because we were just like talking about like the dates that we were going to like upload our videos and stuff. And I had left that all in. It would have been kind of funny actually to have the bloopers in there, but I was like, oh, because I said in the video, I said, oh, okay, I'll edit all this out. And so I'm glad that I watched that part, because had I not watched it, I wouldn't know that it was in the video. And so we did the video that we're posting tomorrow. We each have a video for our channels tomorrow, and then we did a celebrity predictions that we're posting next week. And that video didn't need any editing whatsoever, so but I'm excited to put those up tomorrow. So yeah, and now it's not slick out at all, and it stopped snowing, and the roads are dry, and it's weird how weather's like that in Indiana. You know, like 1 second it can be like slick, and the next second it's completely fine. So anyway, it's been very cold in Indiana today. It's been extremely, extremely windy, and just not real fun to be out at all. So I got up today and did my prayers, did my meditations, went and got coffee, ran a few errands, and then, are people at the gym working out? Oh, that's inspiring. No, they're at the bar next door. There's a bar right next door to the gym. There's not one person in the gym. Yeah, went and ran errands, and then I came home, and I had to finish watching the Shane Dawson series. I just had like a little bit left, and then I did my after show video on that. And then I actually filmed a Peterisms video too, but I didn't have time to get it up before I left for my meeting, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna post that tomorrow. So yeah, and then I went and picked up, I took a shower and stuff before I made my videos, and I was like ready to go so I wouldn't be like in a hurry to leave, because Tanya got her coin tonight for 23 years, so she wanted to get there a little early. So I got ready and left, and Alex came home right after I fed the dogs, and then I went to go pick up Tanya, and then we got to the meeting early tonight. It was actually, there were quite a few people there for it being so cold outside. And Tanya and I usually, so our group splits up. Tanya and I usually sit in the same group, but she went and sat with a bunch of women tonight, and I sat in the, like, we count off into numbers, and so I sat in the number, I go where I want to go. And usually if like I'm a 2 and Tanya's a 3 and she wants to go to 2s and we go to 2, or if she wants to go to 3, we just go where, you know, it's just not that strict. It's just not that strict. But tonight I went where I was supposed to. I was a 4. I was the 4. And so I went to 4s, and was I a 4? Maybe it doesn't matter, but maybe I wasn't a 4, and I just went over there because I was like sitting right there anyway. 4s are in the middle of the room. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I had a really small group. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people. 5 people? 6 people? 6 people, yeah. There were 6 people, and we talked about making amends and the amends process. And It was a really good meeting. But it was so cold, and usually after meetings, people go outside, and I brought the Kiehl's lip balm because I need a lip balm out here. But usually after the meeting, people go outside and stand around and talk and stuff, but it was so cold outside and so windy, and it was like snowing like crazy, that everybody was just standing inside. Nobody went outside. And then when Tanya was done with her meeting, because she got done last, she's like, come on, let's go. She's like, it's freezing. I don't want to stand around. I was like, okay, let's go. So we did. And then I took her to go get a fountain pop. I did not get one. And then I took her home. But anyway, we had a great time, the meeting tonight. I just felt like really spiritually like focused all day today. It was nice. And do you ever just like some days feel more clear-headed than others? I felt like very clear-headed today. And it was a good day. I have to say this, like, unless we're going to get a bunch of snow, I'm kind of really over this weather. In fact, I said that to Alex tonight. I said, I'm so over this weather. And he goes, well, I'm glad to hear it. He goes, because you always say how you love this weather. And I said, I do. Like, I love this weather in the winter. Like, if it's going to be cold in winter, like, I like it. But, like, if it's going to be like this, then I want to have, like, a lot of snow. You know what I mean? Like a foot of snow outside where we can't really go anywhere. Like, I don't want this just cold, icy, blowing wind, like, although that is winter, but it's just not, you know. I know Mother Nature doesn't necessarily operate for me to have fun, but whenever it's cold like this, and I think I should also say that I rarely ever wear socks. I actually wore these big boots tonight to the meeting with socks, but like right now I have like my Sperry's on and I never wear socks. So my feet don't, like, they get cold, but like I don't ever feel like I must radiate heat from my feet or something. I never feel like freezing in my feet. But I was thinking about this earlier. When I was a little kid, I used to walk to school when I was in elementary school, and I can remember, you know, it would be like pitch black outside when I would leave, because I would leave so early, and you know, I'd be like all bound up and scarves and hats and all that stuff. And then I can remember, it just is such a weird thought to me in retrospect, like looking back, that I mean, I wasn't the only one. There were a lot of kids that were walkers. My entire, like, neighborhood, you know, like, for streets and streets, we were all walkers. But I look back on that and I think, you know, in a world of, like, kidnappings and things like that, I just really took this to, like, a weird place, didn't I? But it's weird to me, like, I look back on that, like, our parents never thought anything about it, you know, that, like, here we were, you know, like, 8 years old, going off to school, walking down the street in the middle of the pitch black, you know? I mean, like, isn't that kind of weird? It's kind of getting windier. Can you hear it? It's kind of blowing my car. But I think about that sometimes, like, how weird that was. And I don't ever remember being scared walking to school either. Like, I don't ever remember that. Like, walking to school, and it's weird. Two things. I don't remember being scared walking to school. And I was like a mile from home, because my dad, before my very first year of being a walker, my parents were separated at that point. He came over and we would practice the walk, and he like timed it to see how long it would take me and things like that. And, but I don't remember feeling like it took a long time. Well, the other thing is that, so I had a really good friend that lived one street over from me. Like, if you went out my street, he lived at like the next street, which was probably a half a mile, honestly. And so I would come out of the street, like I would come out of my street. We were on the cul-de-sac, so I would have to walk all the way down my street. And this is like, you know, with big, huge trees overhanging the road and stuff like that. And then I would walk down and then meet him and his brother at his street, and then we would walk to school together. But I don't think always, because I can remember walking to school by myself a lot, the whole way. I mean, of course I would see other people, like, kind of across the street and stuff like that, but it wasn't just, like, mass amounts of people walking to school. My mom took me to school a lot, too, especially when it was, like, really, really cold outside, maybe. Definitely in junior high, she always took me to school. because I hated riding the bus. I would ride the bus, but I hated it. I did not have good experiences on the bus, and I was bullied a lot on the bus. So my mom would take me. I didn't tell her that, but she would take me to school because I would say, it's so cold, I don't want to stand out there at the bus stop, and I can leave later if you take me. So she would take me. And then I found out years later that she would come home and go back to bed, which is totally the kind of parent that I would probably be, you know. But, so the thing is, I don't remember ever, like, being scared, and I don't remember it taking me a long time to walk there in the dark. I feel like it took me a lot longer to walk home in the afternoon, but I do remember walking home with a lot of people because we would all, like, kind of leave at the same time until I was in 5th grade, and then I was a crossing guard, and I would always be the last one, so I would walk home by myself. But I mean, to think that I was, like, walking, like, with it, like, dark outside is crazy, and that parents didn't even think about that, you know? I mean, we used to talk about stranger danger and all that kind of stuff, but I don't remember, like, my parents, like, not wanting me to walk to school. Like, I don't ever remember that being, like, you know what I mean? I don't know, it's just kind of bizarre when I look back on that. You know, today I think we live in such a much more protected society that I don't know that would, like, a lot of parents would be, I don't know, do you guys let your kids walk to school in the dark? Like, that's crazy to me. I mean, I guess I would. I don't know. But, you know, it was a different society then, too. I mean, we left our front doors open and unlocked. We don't ever do that, you know? Like, I mean, I think that's still kind of small town. Like, you know, my ex was from a small town, and all of our friends down there would just, like, leave their front doors unlocked, and we would, you know, go eat and come back, and the front door would be open, and, you know, or unlocked, not open, but we just don't live in that kind of world anymore, do you think? I just don't think we do. The other thing is, like, that's weird about it to me is I feel like we don't hear about kidnappings today the way that we heard. I feel like back then we heard a lot about that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. If you grew up in my generation, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. It's like, I feel like we heard a lot about, you know, kidnappings and people being taken and things like that. I feel like, I mean, we have, like, you know, the signs up in Walmart and stuff like that, but I don't feel like we hear about it as much as we used to. There's not as many, like, Lifetime movies about it, and am I right or am I wrong about this? I don't know. It feels like almost today more, when you hear about, like, a kidnapping, it's almost kind of like a parent that has taken their child, you know, or if you hear, like, an Amber Alert, and maybe that's part of it, is that we have these Amber Alerts today, so, you know, people don't do it. I've always been kind of a little intrigued with the whole kidnapping thing, like, in reading, like, books about kidnappings and things like that. It's interesting because I think I've told this story on here before. This camera, I don't know why it's sitting the way it's sitting tonight, but, like, you can't get me all on there. So my babysitter, when I was in high school, she and her best friend were at McDonald's up the street from us, and she at the time was, like, 15 years old. And her parents were really good friends with my parents, my aunt and uncle, and, like, their parents all were friends. And would, like, I mean, when I talk about, like, the Christmas parties that my aunt used to have on Christmas Eve, like, they were always there. And she was my babysitter for much of me growing up. I had like 3 different babysitters, but she was one of the main ones. And she and her girlfriend got kidnapped at McDonald's. Like, they were just standing up there, and these guys came with guns and this van, and were like, get in. And they kidnapped them, and they were gone for, like, 2 weeks. And like, there was a ransom and everything that they had to dump over, like, this railroad track, like they had to drive by like this railroad track on the interstate and had to dump the money out, like throw a bag over the interstate out. And, you know, my dad, who grew up with my grandfather, who was a homicide detective, my dad and him used to watch Perry Mason. And so my dad can solve mysteries like that. Like, it's almost not fun to watch a mystery with my dad because he can, like, figure it out within, like, the first 5 minutes. Well, I remember when all of this happened and after they came back and they were safe, like, they were blindfolded the whole time and they didn't know anything, but, like, they had, like, you know, told their parents what had happened, and they had, like, you know, all of our parents knew, like, the details of it. And I can remember sitting in my aunt's living room, and God, I must have been really young, because I can remember my dad was there, and he said that because my dad used to work at a hospital over by where they supposedly he thought they were, and they would say, like, the things that they had heard, and they could hear, like these rocks, and it was like a rock refinery or something like that, and then this railroad track, and my dad pieced it all together and ended up giving information, I think, to the police officers for, like, where he thought, like, they had kept them, and it ended up being, like, where they had kept them. And anyway, so weird when I think back on that. But I remember my dad, too, would, like, we had code words when I was growing up, like, things to say on the phone that would translate into, like, are you okay? And my dad would, like, say, my dad was very much, like, protective of me when I was a little kid. And he would say, like, okay, when they take you, like, I can remember, and I heard this, actually, on an Oprah aha moment years later, when they were talking about, like, being kidnapped as an adult. But my dad had always said this to me: don't let them take you to the second place. And my dad would say that to me. He'd say, if they're going to move you a second time, you fight for your life. You run, you get out of there, you do whatever you have to do, fight for your life. And he used to say to me as a kid, don't let somebody take you to a second place. I mean, isn't that a weird thing to tell a kid, don't you think? And then we would also have, like, codes, and he would practice them with me. Like, he would call me. It's so weird when I think back on this, that, like, you know, and then I had to be, like, observant. And so, like, if there were newspapers sitting around, he would always tell me to, like, look and see what the date was on a newspaper, or if there was a city on a newspaper, like the Indianapolis Star, you know, like, if it was, like, the Cincinnati whatever, that I should, like, notice that. And then my dad, you know, would say on the phone, is there an Indianapolis Star? And I would say no. And so he had, like, all this stuff, like, trained on how I could, like, you know, give clues to him if I was gone. I don't know, I just feel like there was a lot more of that, like, in the 70s and the 80s than we see really today. I mean, I don't think, do we really hear about a whole lot of that anymore? Or maybe people aren't supposed to say something, and back then it was different, or, you know, I just read this book called No Exit, and it was actually about a kidnapping, and it was interesting because I was like, as I was listening to it, I was like, you know, I think today, it was interesting watching Shane Dawson's series with Brittany Taylor, and she was talking about this guy, you know, that she was married to, just got really windy, wanting to, like, she thought that he was trying to, you know, get her and her child to Serbia to traffic them. And I think we think of kidnapping more from that point of view today, you know, than we do of just, like, a ransom kidnapping. Maybe it's a really dangerous crime, and that's why people don't do it anymore, you think? I mean, dangerous in, as far as, like, getting caught. It always makes me sad when I'm in Walmart, though, when I see those signs, those flyers of people missing, you know, like, missing on such and such day, and you wonder, like, what happened? Are they runaways? Are they kidnapped? You know, like, what happened to them? It's so sad, isn't it? I had a friend of mine years ago, her daughter got her master's degree in peace, like P-E-A-C-E. And I remember, like, after she got it at some amazing university too. I can't remember what it was, but it was like Carnegie Mellon or something like that. And I said to her later, I said, like I saw her and I hadn't seen her in a couple years. It was somebody that I had used to work with. And I said, so what's your daughter doing? And she said, she's working with this international organization for sex trafficking. And I said, oh, wow. And I said, what is she doing? And she goes undercover. Like, this is a lot of what people that get their master's degree in peace and things do. Like, you know, they work on, you know, different things around the world to bring more world peace. And she's like, you know, undercover doing this. And I was like, oh my God, can you imagine? That's some scary stuff right there, you know? Those are people that really inspire me, you know, to put their life on the line, to save other people. You have to feel pretty convicted, I think, to do something like that, you know, to really... How did this vlog get here? I was talking about getting coffee for the day, and then all of a sudden I'm talking about this. But, you know, I think that... Sometimes I just think it's so weird, like, where this vlog goes, and that people, like, listen to it, and it just cracks me up sometimes, but I appreciate it, so thank you. It means a lot to me. In watching the Psychic Twin sing back, it was interesting because, well, let me wrap that up. What I was saying was, you have to feel, I mean, pretty convicted about something. I think to some degree we live in a selfish society, and I think you have to feel pretty convicted about something to go put your entire life on the line at the risk of saving other people, you know? Whatever people's personal opinions are, it's why, like, whenever I see a serviceman or woman, I always say, you know, thank you for your service. And I've had so many friends of mine whose sons or daughters are, you know, in the service, and, you know, taking a risk so that we can live the life we live in the United States, at least. I don't know if you're out of the United States watching this. I don't, you know, but, shoot, what was I saying? No, I forgot. I was watching... Darn it. I was watching the Psychic Twin sing back. This is what happens when I jump from topic to topic. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It was interesting watching that back, though. It's going to be interesting because I don't have their half of it. So I haven't seen what they've said. Or what, like, their part, so I only got to see my half of it, and, yeah. Tanya was telling me that, I think I talked about this on here, because that movie, I Know My First Name is Steven, have you ever seen it? It's like a Lifetime movie, and it's about a kid that's kidnapped, and, it's very similar to a case that happened a couple years ago. And he rescues, like, this kid that the man had kidnapped as well. It's like almost identical to that story. But anyway, he comes home, and it's just like he has a hard time, like, acclimating back into his home environment because he's been gone for so long. It was a true story. Okay, so then he ends up dying, and I did talk about this because several people commented on it in the comment section and said that he died of, like, in a motorcycle accident or something. But then what Tanya told me was that his brother ended up being the killer in Yellowstone National Park or something like that. And Tanya was like, can you imagine those poor parents? I just can't even imagine. I'm going to pull into this gas station because, it's going to stop anyway. I'm going to pull in this gas station really quick. And I will be... Okay, I wanted to watch back the end of that to see what I was talking about with the Psychic Twins. But watching the Psychic Twins sing back was interesting to me because one of the things they said in there was, I think it was Linda that said it to me, that they saw for me getting rid of one of my 5 channels and that I should think about it. And I said... in the video, I said, I don't necessarily ever think about getting rid of one of my 5 channels. I think about merging maybe 2 of my channels together. But I don't honestly know, like, which 2 channels I would merge. I really don't know. And I said, like, they asked me, they were like, well, which, you know, they said something like, which channel's your favorite or whatever. And I said, well, my vlog is like an old friend. I mean, or something like that. And I said, I mean, of all of my channels, this is, like, definitely one that I will never get rid of. At least, I guess I can't say that. I don't see myself getting rid of this channel. But, But, you know, I said in there, it's interesting. It's like having 5 different friends and having somebody say to you, you have to get rid of one of your friends. Who do you get rid of? You know, it's like each one of your friends you have for a different reason. And, you know, like, I was saying that, like, you know, I started on BookTube, and BookTube, like, reading is my passion. And then, you know, my Peterisms channel, I love doing the meditations on there. And then my vlog is like, you know, my heartstone. And, you know, the Peter Monn channel, I just love talking about, you know, doing commentary. I think it's so much fun. And then I just started my review channel. So, you know, it's like, I don't know. I don't honestly know which 2 I would merge together. Any of them kind of make sense to merge together, you know? I mean, the only 2 that would really make sense to merge together, I guess, would be my Peter Monn channel, my review channel. But I don't really want to do that. I like keeping the reviews separate. So I don't know. But I thought that was interesting if they said that. It's so still outside tonight. Even though it's windy, it's like still. And there's not really anybody like out on the road. I just kind of want to like sit down and read a bunch. Tomorrow I'm having lunch with a friend of mine that I haven't seen in I don't even know how long it's been, like 2 months. And she and I are having lunch tomorrow. We're gonna go to Ruth's Cafe, and they have this corn chowder there that I hope they have tomorrow, because I like, it's every day their soup changes. I love this place so much, but I hope they have it tomorrow because I love this corn chowder. And we're gonna catch up, and then the Psychic Twins video I have filmed, my Peterisms video I have filmed, but I have a video and so my vlog I have filmed, because I'm filming it right now, and, but I want to film, I have several review videos that I've been wanting to make, and then I have a BookTube. I want to do my January wrap-up on BookTube, and then I am almost done. I can't believe I still haven't finished it, with The Vanishing Stair, which is the 2nd book in the Maureen Johnson series. So I'm sure I'll finish that in the next 24 hours, and when I finish that, I want to do my review of that. So I have those 2 BookTube videos to do, and then by the time I get that done, I'll have my the 3rd book, because I've like banged these books out, those graphic novels, Unlovable. I'm halfway through the 3rd one, and I just started it. So I'll have, I didn't want to review that until I had the whole series done. So when I get the whole series done, I'm going to do that. So that'll probably be this week too. And yeah. Last month, I listened to so many Audible books, and this month I haven't been. I've been like sitting down and reading more, but I'd like, you know, I love to just sit for hours and make like a pot of coffee or tea and just sit there and like read for a couple hours. It's hard sometimes in our house because, you know, our house is so small that, like, if Alex is watching TV, it's like I can't sit like 10 feet away and read. And even if I'm upstairs, I don't read real well with like TV or music on in the background. So if he's watching TV, you know, it's hard to sit there and read. And he can do anything. Like, I mean, he can write articles or, you know, do work or whatever with like TV or music or anything. But he said he grew up studying that way. I just can't have a whole lot of stuff on in the background, you know? Now it's snowing again. I kind of feel like we're gonna have a bad snow this week. I don't know why, my gut tells me that. And I'm really thirsty right now for some water, but I don't want to go in anywhere and get it. I don't want to stop because I don't want to get out in the cold. I have 3 coats in the back of my car right now, you guys. tonight I wore this denim coat that I had to have, and I've worn about 5 times total. This one with like, do you see it has the white on it? I love this coat. And so many people tonight were like, it's so warm, you guys. And all these people were like, oh my God, I love your coat. And I'm like, I never wear this coat. I was like, I need to wear this coat more often. So I ordered another icon hat. I was gonna surprise everybody and just have it on. It's not the one. So here was my fear. The hats are expensive as hell anyway, but I really feel like I got my use out of the last hat. So I don't necessarily, like, I have a hard time finding a hat that fits me the way that like I like. And this hat was $9 on Amazon when I bought it, okay? And I think it fits okay, but it's not my favorite hat in the entire world. But I loved that D-squared icon hat. And I even wrote them and said, do you guys have any more corduroy hats? You know, they're not listed on your website. Of course I would pay for it. I just want the same hat that I had before. And they didn't respond, even though their email says they would respond within 24 hours. It's now been 4 days or 5 days and I haven't heard anything. So I just was like, finally, I just was like, screw it. I'm going to order another hat. Well, I got on their website and they have a whole series of icon hats. Like, it was like their fall winter collection. But the thing is that the majority of them are like baseball hats, and I like more trucker type hats. And I can remember sitting in the store trying them on, and there were some that like fit really well, and there were others that didn't fit that great at all. Well, when you're paying more than $100 for a hat, I mean, that hat that I got in Vegas was $160. I don't know if you guys remember, but like I was real apprehensive in buying it. Well, once I got home and I wore it everywhere and it was in all my videos and my pictures, I didn't regret getting it. You know, I was like, I really like this hat. It's very comfortable. I can wear it with anything. And it was also kind of like, I know it sounds crazy, not a dressy hat, but it wasn't like, you know, I could wear it like with a turtleneck sweater, or I could wear it with like a flannel shirt or something. And it didn't look like I had just rolled out of bed. You know what I mean? So whoever is enjoying that hat out there, because the airline has not found it, because I did fill out a lost and found thing. Do you guys hear this? It just got really windy and it's starting to snow like crazy. But just kind of spitting snow. Listen. So I got online, and one of the hats that I tried on in the store, which is more like this denim material, it was on sale, and it was like just like $100, which is still a shit ton of money for a hat, right? But I wear hats so much, and I want a hat for our Miami trip that I can wear to Ultra. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get it. It is what it is. It was like the only hat that I liked they had on sale. They didn't have any other. The other hats they had on sale, they didn't have any that I liked. So I have another icon hat coming. I'm excited about that. Their stuff is expensive. I was looking at their website. They have sweatshirts for like $1,700, and I was like, oh my God. This friend of mine tonight, he's like such a sharp dresser, and I like came in, he's like, oh my God, I have that same coat, I almost wore it tonight. I'm like, well, thankfully you didn't, because we would have been twins. But he had this real cute sweater on, and it had like reindeer across it. It was like an old school like ski sweater. And I was like, I love your sweater. And all these women were like, yeah, I love your sweater. And he was like, I got it at Goodwill. And I was like, I miss going thrift store shopping. Like, I need to go back and do some thrift store shopping. Oh, I know. Okay, so I was supposed to have my training this morning, and my trainer texted me, poor guy, and he was sick again. He's like, I don't think I'm going to be back in for a couple days. And he was like, I'm really, really sorry. I can arrange a session with another trainer if you want me to, or we can wait till next week. I was like, let's just wait till next week. Don't worry about it. I said, I don't want you to have to worry about me. Just get better. I felt so bad for him. that was my training session this week. Oh man, this wind is intense. It just dropped like 5 or 6 degrees too. I need to get on our book club book for this month. I usually read them at the very end of the month, but I haven't started it in cold blood. It's not as long as the last one that we read, though. It's about 1/3 of the size, actually, so I'm not too worried about it. And I kind of know the story because I've like seen a movie. I think I saw the movie In Cold Blood, like the black and white one that they made about it. And I feel like I watched Capote, but maybe I just saw parts of it. I don't remember. I'm kind of surprised they haven't salted the roads. I've been having the weirdest dreams lately, you guys. I've been having the weirdest dreams about, like, just random people that I would, like, normally never dream about. Strange. Everybody all cozy in their houses. I told Alex tonight, I said, I wish we had a fireplace in our bedroom. And he was like, well, we could get one of those fake fireplaces. And I was like, yeah, but... like, I wish we had a fireplace. My dad at his house, my stepmom and my dad have a huge fireplace in their bedroom. And, like, in the winter, they always just have a fire going, like, when they're going to bed, you know? Like, not a blazing fire. By then, it's kind of died. But, like, if they're sitting around in the bedroom, my dad always wanted to have a fireplace in his bedroom. Well, my mom always wanted to have a fireplace in her bedroom, too. But kind of, like, in retrospect, thank God that she didn't, right, as a drinker. But, my dad's fire, like, they always, like, when I was growing up, like, the fireplace in the bedroom and the fireplace in the kitchen, they would have going a lot. And they had, like a little kitchen, like, fireplace in the kitchen was probably, I don't know, it was not tiny, but it was smaller. And, my dad always got, like, his entire, like, one wall of a garage and around the corner was, like, all firewood. And, just constantly burning fires. And they put off so much heat. They really did. And, but I can remember house sitting out there later, and I would have, like, a fire in their bedroom when I was going to sleep, and you could see, like, the embers in the fire, because, you know, like, the fire had died down and whatever. And I always loved that. I always thought that was so great. Plus, I love the smell of a fire. Like, when you're standing outside in the crisp winter air and you can smell, like, the fire from the fireplaces. So nice. Alex asked me that tonight. He was like, I thought we were getting the fireplace cleaned out, because our fireplace right now, like, smoke won't go up it. And I said, and I, like, looked up with a flashlight. I can't see anything there. So I have a feeling like they painted the outside of our house. I kind of feel like maybe they, like, taped it off or something. I don't know. But he goes, he was like, does the homeowners association come out and do all that? I said, no, we have to get, like, a chimney sweep. I said, I heard it's not super expensive, because I asked my cousin Caroline. She said it's not super expensive to get a chimney sweep. So I need to do that. But now, like, winter's halfway over, so. But we need to do it anyway. That's called adulting. Getting a chimney sweep. I have no idea how much that costs to do. Like, it's one thing if it's like $100 or $150. It's another thing if it's like, you know, $600 for them to come out there. I'm like, okay, well, we'll just go without a fire this winter, and then we'll do it next winter. But I said that about my air conditioning in my car, and look what happened. So I'm actually, what's interesting about it is I'm usually right on top of it for stuff like that. But that's kind of like stuff I enjoy. Like, I enjoy, like, you know, cleaning, doing dishes, doing laundry, taking care of the house. Like, I know it sounds strange, but those are things that, like, I really enjoy doing. Do any of you out there enjoy doing that? Like, I think it's kind of fun. I said I didn't want to make this as long tonight. Okay, how long have I been going? So, 4:30. Okay, so I'm about, like, right at about 40 minutes right now. I'm having a late lunch with my friend tomorrow. We're having lunch at 1:30. So I don't want to stay out too late vlogging, but it's so funny. Okay, when I get up. So I get up in the morning, right? And I take the dogs out because, like, they'll wake me up and then they have to, like, you know, go outside. So I'll take them out. Well, when they get up, they go outside and I let them, like, you know, run around the backyard for probably, you know, depending on how cold it is. If it's really cold, they only get to go outside for like 5 minutes. But if it's like above 30, I let them, like, be out there for a little while, you know, and walk around and run around. And they have our whole backyard back there to run around in, and they love to sniff around by the woods and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of stand there and I go back and forth and I watch them and make sure they're, like, really good. They just stay right there. And they'll chase each other around. Boo Radley loves to run back there and stuff like that. So, and then, like, I give PP his medicine, and then sometimes we go back to bed. Well, if we go back to bed, like, they'll wake up, because that's usually, like, when Alex leaves in the morning. So, like, tomorrow he leaves the house at, like, 9:30 or 10. But today, like, he left at, like, 7:30, I think. So, it just kind of depends on, when he goes back. Oh, by the way, he had his checkup with his doctor about his back, because he's been, you know, doing all this kind of stuff for his back. 100% back to where he was supposed to be. They, like, did x-rays and everything is back to normal, and he had a great report. So he's very excited about that. Well, we're both very excited about that. So I'm really happy for him, and he hasn't really been in any pain lately, and so yeah, so everything is great with his back. But anyway, so I do that when, like, he leaves. I'll take them out, but then, like, they'll go back to sleep with me, but then they don't, like, they'll sleep for like another 2 hours and then they'll get up again. And it's like they want to get up, like, to play and stuff, but they don't necessarily have to go back out again. So, or, like, I'll take them out and then I'll come back to bed for, like, you know, another whatever. If it's like 7 in the morning, I don't get up at, like, you know, 9 in the morning. So I'll come back and, like, they'll just be standing there looking at me, and it's so cute. Like, PP usually gets right underneath the covers and goes back to sleep. But Boo and Tucker are so funny, and they'll sit there and they'll just, like, look at me, and I'll go, 5 more minutes, you guys, 5 more minutes. And they, like, know what 5 more minutes means now. Alex is, like, joking with me the other night. He's like, of course they know what that means. And I'll go, 5 more minutes, and Tucker goes back, because he sleeps on Alex's pillow. Like, once Alex is gone, he sleeps on, sometimes PP goes under the pillow, and sometimes Tucker sleeps on top of the pillow. So Tucker will go and he'll just, like, I'll go 5 more minutes, and he'll turn and he'll, like, go back on the pillow, and Boo Radley will just, like, turn around and, like, 3 times in a circle. And then it's so cute. They're so cute. I don't know what I would do without my dogs. I love them so much. We changed their food to a more high protein food, and they seem to really, really like it. It's disgusting though. It looks like beef stew. Before, what we gave them was like compact. It was like a pate, and this is like compact. It's like, oh, it's what our vet recommended. It's like I go through periods where it's really windy, and then it's like very, very still. Like just back there, it was like blowing snow and it was super windy, and now like out here, where it's like this huge field, you would think that it would be really, you know, like windy across nothing. It's totally still. It's just kind of like creepy that you hear all this crushed up ice. It's kind of like this creepy winter in Indiana this year. Well, listen, you guys, I think I'm going to get off here, and I will make today my shorter vlog, and tomorrow will probably be my longer vlog. So, I hope you guys are having a wonderful, what is it, Wednesday, hump day? Happy hump day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday, and I love you, and go check out my interview with the Psychic Twins. And, well, they do a reading on me, so a past lives regression and all that kind of stuff. If you believe in it, if you don't believe in it, just watch it for fun. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.